Hello everyone. In this video, we will look into how to Dockerize a Express project. We will be using the Express library. We will be creating a package.json file where we will be using the Express server. And we will be creating a server using express.js and then we will Dockerize it. We will run it using Docker and then we will look into the list of images and we will look into the containers list of containers and we will look into how to stop a container and it means like little bit more about Docker. So let us begin with the video. So first of all, we need to create a Express project. So first of all, for that we need a file called package.json. So I recommend not to create using this, but to create using npm init. So when you will use npm init, so you will have different type of uh, n- things which will be suggested. Like it will suggest for giving a package name. So if we don't use a package name, then by default it will use the folder name. It means like we have docker system, so it is telling that it is docker system. So yeah, it is fine for me. So I'll hit enter here. Now version, if we don't use any version, then it will default to 1.0.0, which is fine. So I'll use the same. And then we have description. So if we don't provide any description, then it will be blank. Entry point, if we don't provide anything, then it will be index.js. I'm fine with it as well. And then we have a test command. So if we don't provide anything, so it will be blank. We don't have a git repo. We don't want to put a keyword and we don't want to put a author and license. So and then it will provide the content of package.json and it will ask whether it is fine or not. So if it is fine, we will put yes. So this will create a package.json file with all the entries. Now we need something here. So as we have the entry point as index.js, which is the main file here. So let's put a start command here and let's say it as node space index.js. So we have node space index.js. So basically when we will hit npm start, then it will use node space index.js. So it will use this command. So let us install express. So we will use npm I express and minus minus save. So it will save the dependencies here. So you can see that in the dependencies part we have express with the latest 4.1 8.1 version. Now as we have node space index.js, so we need to create a index.js file as well. So let us create index.js file. Now let us quickly create a server. So we will say constant express equals to require express, and then we will say const app equals to express, and simply we will say app.listen to port. So let's say port number is uh, 8000, and we can console.log. We can simply say server is listening to port. Server is listening to port 8000. And let us quickly create one route. So we will say app.get slash, and which will accept a function callback request and response. And I want very basic, so response.send, we will say welcome to this page, and let us run the application. So for running the application, as we say that we have two options, either to type npm start directly or we can use node space index.js. So we have both the options open, so we can use anything. And when we will go to browser and when we will use localhost port number 8000, so we can see that we have welcome to this page. Now what I'll do, I'll dockerize this page. So how we can dockerize this page? So it means like I want to create an image of this and I want to run it using Docker. So first of all, we will create a Docker file. So we will say Docker file directly without any extension. Now after that, we will search for a good image which have Node.js installed within it. So for that, we will go to dockerhub.com or hub.docker.com. So after going here, we will search for node. So we can see that we have node image here which have more than 1 billion pulls. So what we will do, we will use this image, but we have a tag as well. So we have current alpine 3.16. So we will use the latest one. So let's copy the latest one and let's pull from the latest one. So we will say from this. Now we need a certain things out here. So first of all, we need to copy. So we will say copy. What we need to copy? We need to copy package.json. So we will say package.json. From where it will copy? It will copy from dot slash to slash app directory. So it will copy from package.json. It will copy package.json to this directory. Now we need a working directory as well. So we will save work directory as slash app. Now after moving there, we want to run npm install out there. So after running npm install here, we need certain things. We need to copy index.js to slash app as well, but we don't want node modules and package log.json because it will automatically create using npm I. So what we can do, we can create a file called docker ignore file, and we can mention the file which we want it to be ignored. Like for example, we don't want package lock.json to be a part of it, and we don't want node underscore modules to be a part of it. So I'll mention the docker ignore file, I'll mention the folder and files which we want to be ignored, and it will not be copied to slash app. Now after running npm install, we can copy we can copy the dot to slash app. It means dot implies all the contents, and it will read the docker ignore that what is being ignored there, and it will copy to slash app. Now after being copied, we need a certain command to run. So our command will be an array, and we will say npm start. Now there is an important catch here that we need to have a expose port. So we will expose port number 8000. So we will expose the port which we need actually for running in Docker. So we have everything now. Now we are good to build it. So let us build the Docker image. So we will close the application and we will use Docker build, and we can tag it as well. So for tagging it, we will say -t and we will put an image name. The image name can be something like docker tut, and we can put a tag. So we can say v1.0 and then we can say dot. So it will build everything. So and then we will hit enter. So now it is running npm install inside it. Step 4, and we have image that is already being created. So now we have image which is already been created. So we can see what the image is using docker images. So when we hit it, we can see that the last image was created 15 seconds ago. So what we will do, we will copy this image id from here, and what we can do is quite simple, that we can see that we have a tag attached with it, and we have a repository name that is docker tut. N- and we have a image id. So to run this, we will use something like docker run, and then we will put the image id to run it. So but we have to expose the port as well. So we have to define the port. So for defining the port, we will do -p, and then in which port we actually wish to run. So suppose that I want to run the application in 5000 port, and in what is the exposed port of Docker? So exposed port of Docker is 8000, and then we can put the image ID, that is something like this, and we will hit the enter. So we can see that server is listening to port number 8000 as it is the consistent message. So we can go to localhost port number 5000 to see the changes, and we will hit. So we can see that we have welcome to this page in port number 5000. But as soon as we will close the command prompt, so as soon as we will exit from this, so as you can see that this command prompt is totally taken by the Docker image. So we will cut it and we will run the command prompt again. So as soon as we will reload the page, it is gone, because because we have not detach the image while running. So if we detach it, then we can easily close the command prompt or do something else out there. Then the container will kept on running. So for example, if we again do Docker images, so we have our image here, and if we do Docker ps minus a, so we can see that we have our image ID which was created a minute ago, and as soon as we cut the command prompt, as soon as we close the command prompt, it has been exited 31 second ago. But we want our container to keep on running, and we cannot assign a command prompt only to run this particular server. So for that condition, what we need to do, we need to have a Docker images here, and we will copy this and we will run the same command only with minus d flag. So we will do docker run, and then again we will assign the port, and the port will be same as 5000, and the exposed port, that is 8000, and we will put the image ID. Only thing that will change is minus d. Minus d means detach, so detach will detach it. So we have invalid container port. Okay, sorry, I put it in the port, my mistake. So we can either put it here minus d. So as soon as we will hit it, so it will generate a new container ID. So we can do docker ps, and we will see it. So we can see that there is something which is running, and in port number 5000. So now as soon as we will reload this page, we will get welcome to this page again. But there was one container which was already exited 2 minutes ago. Now how can we, it means like a stop any container, any running container. So suppose that we have our running container, this one, which is up for 26 seconds. I want to stop it. So for stopping it, we have to copy the container ID. So we have the container ID here. So we will copy this container ID and we will do docker stop simply, and we'll paste the container ID. So as soon as we'll paste the container ID and we will reload the page, it is gone. Yes. So again, if we want to start it, so just we can replace the stop with start, and we will hit enter. So we can see that it is back again. Now what if we want to exit, if we want to delete all the exited container? So for deleting the exited container, we can do docker container prune, and it will ask for the confirmation and we will give yes. So there is only one container which is being in the stop state, which is in the exited state. And if we want to delete the stopped image, it means which is not actually utilized by any container, so we can do docker image prune. And if we do y, so as there is no image which is not being utilized, so there is nothing to be deleted. So that's it guys for this particular video. In next video, so in this particular video we learned about how to build an image, and how to run a container, and how to yes, and we created an express server. So in the next video, I will come with the more advanced concept in Docker. So I'll come with, it means like how to push and pull the image. So in this also we have pull the image, actually we have pulled the node current Alpine 3.1.6, and we have created an image as a whole. So the reason for im- uh, introducing Docker was that it means like to ship the entire container itself as a configuration server or something. So earlier what it is like, if we were using something like EC2 or something like that, so what it used to be that we used to code in Node.js and we used to code in Python. Then we used to install the same within the EC2 box, virtual container and all those. And virtual machines, there we used to install Node.js, there we used to install Express. So what used to happen that people used to complain that something is working in my system but it is not working in your system or something like that. So to overcome this situation, Docker has been introduced, and Docker has been introduced, and now the entire container, it means like there won't be any complaint that it is working for me and it is not working for yours. Yeah, so that's it for this video. We will come in next video with more contents. Yeah, thank you so much.